I'm going to take you through an acceleration workout. We're out in Turkey at the moment and I'm training specifically with Yasmin, the 648 meter long jumper that I coach. And this workout was specifically designed not only to improve her sprint acceleration, but also her long jump acceleration as well. As everything else being equal, the better able you are to accelerate, the better able you are going to be able to produce a better run up and get greater maximum velocity. The speed and power and technical requirements of acceleration are going to benefit, as I've said, long jump and also maximum velocity. All my workouts start with what I call basic drills. So you're seeing some of these on screen now. We are including some long jump drills as we want to maintain the progression and the progress across the week that we're out in Turkey. So you'll see some arm action drills singled out because that's what we're working on with Yasmin at the moment, transitioning from a hitch hang to a hitch kick. Each of these drills was performed 2 to 3 times over about 20 meters. You'll also see some undulating drills, some drills where the leg, for example, is pulsed up and down, and also from a lunge position. These drills are designed to increase the stretch reflex, or rather get the body ready for faster movements. They are just opening and closing the muscles, the stretch reflex at the joints in order to stimulate that particular requirement. Let's get back to the acceleration movements. So when you accelerate, you want to be able to drive the leg down hard into the track to push yourself forwards. And so these activations, these drills here are achieving just that. They're cueing the movement for subsequent work. Okay, the second unit, and here we were doing various up and down piston type of movement drills where you're striking very hard below the body, behind the body's hips in order to push backwards as you're moving. And you can do these with 1, 2 and 3 steps between. I was cueing Yasmin to keep range of movement, not to shorten the actual press down, but to keep the movement from a pretty high position so that she could really attack the ground. Now, of course, when you start a race from a sprint start or even on the run-up, the angle is going to be less. So we also practiced that later with more dynamic drills. So in the third unit of the session, we went on to what I call into drills. So we were doing a low knee lift into sprinting. So the athlete, as you'll see Yasmin do, starts pressing down and then gradually starts to increase their stride length whilst still pressing down and moving forwards across the acceleration phase. Then they try to maintain that striking, that pushing down across the more upright running phase as well. Good. Press, 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 press. Keep pressing up. And here we have another into drill, speed bounds into sprinting. Now again, that is a requirement of acceleration, i.e. the pushing back. So the speed bound cues that dynamic strike and push into the track surface. And then subsequently, the athlete has to continue, as with the other drill, to keep pushing, keeping the same movement or a very similar movement going. So driving through the hips to propel themselves forwards. I actually had to demonstrate, so you're going to see me do the drill as well. You can see that Yasmin started to get some very good positions, really started to extend through the hips and push into the track surface. We had frequency and we had drive. So the two drills combined in order to generate good acceleration mechanics. And then into the subsequent unit, unit 4, we went into actual accelerations from standing starts and 3-point starts. Here you can see Yasmin putting it all together with these particular starts, and her positions weren't too bad. She has a tendency sometimes to drop as she comes out of the first step. So this wasn't so noticeable here, and it's a definite drive back through the whole of the body, keeping the back relatively straight so she can push through it and create greater power. So the preceding workouts, drill units rather, had set up this for her acceleration work at the end. We did about 4 to 5 accelerations from various positions, working up to about 90–95% speed, with the emphasis being on conscious application of the acceleration mechanics. Hopefully you'll be able to see how I've strung together an acceleration workout from start to finish. This should help you also construct very similar workouts. The workouts do reflect some of the central nervous system training which I'm utilising at the moment and will continue to do so. So by utilising different drills and requiring the mind, or the brain I should say, and body to coordinate the movements under different conditions, different variability, we are stimulating, hopefully, development of the various mechanisms within the body required to optimize acceleration. Don't do the same drills over and over again, vary them, and then hopefully the central nervous system will adapt to the stimulus and you will improve. If you want to find out more about central nervous system training, then do check out this particular video. Do look out for more long form and short form content from our Turkey training trip. And do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.